Hello, Toddbog here, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Sunless Sea for breaking the stream. Where we last left off, we did some exploring up north. We came back to town, did our selling, regathered supplies and fuel, and now we headed south. And we managed to see what sounded like Hell's beachhead into this world with the Iron Kingdom. Found some dirt cheap fuel, so we purchased that. And then we found the Grand Geode, so we just docked at the end of our last video, and we're going to go ahead and see what they've got. So, a distant song like a mirage. So, a naval base with Royal Navy emblems, curiously amended. Efficient, bright-eyed women and men work briskly everywhere you look. They're singing hymns with unfamiliar words. Hard-faced Royal Marines watch you carefully, barring entry to the Geode's heart. A plaque by the docks has been defaced with orange paint, but you can still make out the original inscription. Station 5, Adjunct. So, definitely some cool architecture going on there. So we can ask to see somebody or speak with somebody in authority. So let's go ahead and do that. I lost a crew member. Okay. So yeah, we're down to 7. Okay. Lose too many and your speed will reduce. Lose them all and you too will die. You can always engage more in London and sometimes other ports. Okay. A blank space in your memory. You saw the Commodore, and then there was something bright. You discussed matters of importance. You're certain of it. Teasing clues linger in your memory. A sailor asked to stay behind, and you permitted it because it'll all come clear later. So, gain 25 terror. Uh-oh. Now we're in a problem with the terror. You have 1 extraordinary implication. You lost 1 crew. That's all for now. Memory. You have 1 memoirs, a sunstroke. And the light, it's pretty. I don't know what menaces yearning brightly. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and compile a port report. So I got that now, so we can sell that. And then, let's see, an element of dawn from the Commodore. So in order to do that, we need vital intelligence and 50 supply. Okay. Well, that's a ways in the future. We can engage an officer, the Cornelian exile. A dark spectacled woman marches up to you in some haste. Citizen, take me with you. I am no longer welcome here, and I'll show you where we need to go. Exile is a first officer. So, cook, chief engineer, first officer. Okay. Who increases mirrors and pages. Alright. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's see. Increases mirrors and pages, so we've now got an improvement there. Welcome aboard. Here I am, a ship, I suppose, but both always here and never there, because that becomes here. Let's see, you now have 1 Carnelian exile. Okay, so let's set that up. So plus 6 mirrors, plus 3 pages. Let's go ahead and speak to her. She has the discomfiting, even irritating habit of answering your questions just before you finish speaking. So we could invite her to dine, but I don't think we have a searing enigma. You can invite or ask, but don't ask her to remove her glasses. Oh, I see. There's 2 different versions. You can ask her to remove her glasses or not. We can increase our mirrors with her, so nothing we can really do. At this point, let's speak to our Clateriere. Let's see. So yeah, let's invite her to dine. It's going to cost us a supply, but okay. Does she wield the fork the same way she wields a surgery instrument? Precise bite sizes. The cooked flesh arrives still in its shell. From the claw, 8 legs, body, and head, she renders a dozen neat bite-sized portions of shredded flesh, sutured with a mushroom, or pinned together with the needle of a chaton. Perhaps she has missed a calling as a chef. She denies it. My mother was the child of a surgeon in the first city. You might say the knife work runs in the family. There's a wicked, quirking smile at the corner of her mouth. And then there are rumors about my father. She would deny that there's any truth to those. So you have learning about Clateriere is now alerted to rumors about the Clateriere's parentage. I don't know what that means. Let's see. We could proposition her. I think we're good there. Alright, so I think we've done everything we can here. Yes, there's no other things. So let's check the shops. No shops available, unfortunately. So I think we have completed our journey here. But we got ourselves a new officer, so first officer now with mysterious eyes. So we'll go and launch out. And let's take a look at our map here. Okay. Send out the Z-Bat, see if he sees anything. No islands, that's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of push into this darkness here and maybe get around the Iron Republic so we don't have to worry about getting attacked again. Oh, there's something here. Castle Clare. Nice. Doesn't appear to be any landing spots, so okay. Chugging along. Got plenty of supplies and fuel right now, so I'm feeling great about that. Don't have a lot of echoes though. We need to find a way to get more echoes. Sizzling vapors rise from the sea. Yep, that's the what we happened before. Isle of Cats, some distance to the east. Alright, well, let's go check out the Isle of Cats. Waves slap the side of the ship. Far below, something moves. The false stars above are a feral amble like a tiger's eyes. Stamford's Expanse, named for the one who lost his child to the cats. So the Isle of Cats. Alright, cool. It's a different port. Discovered Port Cavendish. You've gained a secret, so we can use that to improve. Alright, I don't think we're going to win that fight. If it wasn't for the fog, I think we'd be even worse off. Let's go ahead and... full speed ahead. Let's get out of here. Set the all clear. Yeah, we'd have to chew through way too much. Because they have 180 hull. Looks like they move faster too. Okay, well, yeah. You're gonna try and shoot me. I don't think you have that kind of range. Set the all clear. We'll sneak into port here. Lost them in the roundabout of the Isle. Isle of Cats. And we should be able to sneak in here. Good. Alright. Isle of Cat, where there are roses. Okay, that's interesting. Port Cavendish, a scatterer of yellow-lit honey dens and brightly painted alehouses. To the southeast rises the stone towers of Cavendish Abbey, its ramparts hung with crimson and gold banners. There are sailors from all across the Neath hauling cargo, dicing and brawling good-naturedly on the docks. The air carries the sound of sea shanties sung with more enthusiasm than skill, and the smell of roses edged with brimstone. So, we've got a piratical welcome, which would cost me 5 echoes. Welcome to the Isle of Cats, the wide-eyed dockmaster says brightly. Would you like to bribe me not to write down your details in this nice official ledger? Might be nice. You know what, let's do that just to be safe. You gained a menace suspicion. You hand over coins and she tips you sharply before waving to the nearest alehouse. Prior process is straightforwardly corrupt and pleasingly efficient. Okay. It cost me 5 echoes, but... The Rose and Tiger. The alehouse sign is a tiger painted of the color of rose petals. Someone has gone to great trouble and expense to gild the creature's eyes. They look over the port, feral and unseeing. A caged hive of lamplighter bees hang from the ceiling like a chandelier. Okay, that's this thing. A few sailors give you hard-mouthed, assessing looks, but most ignore your presence entirely. Alright, significant tokens. The caddies all wear a pair of amber stones threaded around their necks or pinned to their collars. Clandestine doings, a whispered conversation, the clink of coins, and exchange of goods. Religious observance. Is that a crimson-veiled nun? But what sort of nun would be in a place like this? Let's ask about the tokens. Cat's eyes, one of them says, for the pirate king. As far as you can gather, the Pirate King's name is Leopold, and he controls all trade on the island. Half of the caddies believe that he can take the form of a crimson tiger and creeps into their dreams. The other half suspect, more prosaically, that he simply eats those who displease him. Interesting. All right, clandestine doings. The merest taste. You turn your head as though you're admiring one of the moldering draperies hung from the wall. A vial flashes in the buyer's trembling hand. He uncorks it, pours a few drops of thick red liquid down his throat. The vial drops to the floor. When you look back up, he is gone. You blink and look around. Nobody else seems in the least perturbed that a man disappeared from their midst. You pick up the fallen vial and examine the traces left inside. A sticky honey gleaming with a redness entirely unlike blood. Okay. Religious observance. A Malefister's sister, of course, she responds, performing a complicated negotiation between veil, thick gloves, and glass of mushroom wine. You ask what one of those is, and she snorts. I'm glaring at you underneath this bloomin' veil. You act appropriately cowed, and the mellifluous sister thaws a little. We are beekeepers and honey harvesters. The caddies own their prosperity to us, and the Pirate King, too. She slurps the last of the mushroom wine behind her veil, and the barkeep glides over to refill her glass, eyes respectfully downcast. Okay. So that's pretty much all we can do. Make sure you have learned all you wish before you leave this place. So I've learned all I can, so let's do that. There must be more to the Isle of Cats than drunken sots and Z stories. Make sure Yep. The barkeep stops you before you reach the door and hands you a brooch set with 2 amber stones. He waits impassively until you pin it to your clothes. Everybody wears the cat's eyes here, he tells you, moving aside to let you pass. Just a friendly reminder that the Pirate King is watching. Seems that no place, then, is truly lawless. Alright. Notice qualities 1. You're almost entirely beneath his notice. Almost. The Honey Tongue is a brothel and honey den run by someone the caddies refer to as the King's Claw. Cavendish Abbey. Let's compile our report first. Though the Isle seems at present beyond the reach of the Admiralty's law, does that mean that the Admiralty lacks interest in their activities? You spend half a day observing the dock and note the astonishing number and variety of ships. Was that a connate trimaran nestled beside a vessel from the Iron Republic? The dockhands complain loudly that they've never been busier. The caddies talk ceaselessly and carelessly about smuggling and piracy, but even the most hardened sailors lower their voice when they mention the king. They even go quieter when they talk about the Rose Garden. Make careful notes. Perhaps the Admiralty will understand what they mean, even if you don't. So, got a report. Let's see. Gift of Glass. An emaciated man in lion-colored robes clutches at your sleeve. Please, he says. I'm damned. I can't touch the truth. Take this. Points to an unpromising-looking crate sitting beside the bollard. Yeah, let's do that. The sun orders time, do you see? Down here we can only touch time with our fingers. The devils know that. In Irem. His eyes wells with tears. Abruptly, he turns and plunges into the crowd. You're left with the crate. Alright, gained a mirrors. Got an empty mirror catch box, and time is. You found something valuable. Once per game, something pleasant will happen. Okay, that's cool. Alright, so that's done. Let's see. Let's go to the brothel. It's both a brothel and a honey den run by someone the caddies refer to as the King's Claw. Entering the brothel is like sighting into the dream of the surface orientalist. Jewel-embroidered cushions, bright silk drapes, gilded statues of elephants, sun bears, and clouded leopards. Silver censers release curling plumes of rose-scented smoke into the air. The courtesans are red-lipped and coal-smudged. When you catch their eye, they smile back at you with professional interest. Your actions will attract the Pirate King's notice. You need 5 Pirate King's notice to gain an offer from a patron. Okay. So you can do a meeting, but in order to do that, you need that 5 notice. Ask what the red honey is. You know, of course. Only the particulars may have slipped your mind. One of the nearby courtesans' eyebrows lift infinitesimally, but her reply is practice. When the lamplighter bees suck the nectar of the crimson strain of exile roses, they're driven to madness. They enter the brains of humans and harvest their memories. He shudders, as though imagining the process himself. Those memories are instilled in red honey. Each sip is a burst of memory on the tongue. Deliciously awful, isn't it? He flutters his dyed feathered fan. You gain 1 terror. Okay. Let's see. Can't do that because I don't have fragments. And we can't do that. Okay. And then let's go ahead and check the abbey out. The crimson-clad mellifluous sisters patrol its ramparts and tend their hives of lamplighter bees. The mellifluous sisters make their home in the richly appointed stone tower of Cavendish Abbey. Their thick gloves and crimson mesh helmets are worn less for modesty and more for practicality. They tend the hives of the lamplighter bees all across the isle and make a religious observance of harvesting red honey for the Pirate King. Okay, so again, we need 5 in order to do anything more. No more than 4 to gossip with a novice, but we need a lamentable relic. We can do fuel. Give 5 fuel and a meeting with the abbess. I have recent news, so let's do this, abbess. You recite your news to the abbess, your voice stuttering every now and then in the cool silence of her office. Her face is entirely obscured by her thick veil, and it's impossible to read her reactions. Nevertheless, you must have pleased her. She orders one of her novices to load your ship with casks and mushroom wine. Ooh. The abbey overlooks the rose garden, so you make a point to linger at the window. The roses bloom lush and wanton, each petal the color of sunset. A tall woman in a golden veil picks her way across the thorn bushes. All right, 5 casks of mushroom wine. Awesome. And we lost our recent news. Okay. And I have fuel. Curious. Let's do it. Alright, the sisters tell you the Pirate King went to Abbey Rock 50 years ago and asked the abbess to send some of her novices to Port Cavendish. You ask why, and she shakes her head. The better question is, why did the abbess send her precious novices to a place like this? You suggest a hefty bribe or perhaps coercion. Sister cackles harshly. The Sisters of the Rock respect strength of arms, which of course the Pirate King knew only too well. He challenged the abbess to a duel and won. She didn't have much choice then. She cackles again. Ask our abbess if you don't believe me. She was one of those very novices sent across the sea. So I'm now at a 3 notice, so I'm getting there. I lost 5 fuel and I gained 60 fragments. So, all right. Nothing else we can really do there, but let's go back here because we had somebody that could take. Yeah, we could take fragments and comfort them. So let's do that. Z Captain is weeping gently into a courtesan's bosom, muttering of her lost crew in rose gardens. They're all tending the gardens now, she wails and begins to weep again. My poor crew. You wait for a hitch in the sobs and inquire further. It's a slow, delicate business, drawing answers out of her, but you're nothing if not perseverant. It seems her crew was conscripted by the Lady of the Gardens, and their duties are something far worse than horticulture. You leave her reciting the names of her lost sailors and commending them to Salt's memory. So I gained a notice. We're at 4. I lost the 60 fragments. Okay. So I think the last thing we need is 5 Z stories, and we'll be able to do something with these people here. Let's see. Oh, key to the cage of the garden. Something awaits. Sunlight filled. Oh, we got a mirror box, so we can now fill it with sunlight if we wanted to. Go to Cavendish Abbey, just double checking. No, nothing else we can do right now. So, all right. Let's see what shops they have. Yep, as usual, a little bit overpriced here. So we're going to leave that be. And, yep, I think we're in good shape here. Can I speak to my comatose ferret? Let's do that. I gain 1 terror. Ferret admires itself in the mirror, the sleek fur of its leg. It rolls up its lips to admire its teeth. Or is that what it's doing? Is it yawning? Or is it mesmerized by the mirror? Possible to say. Okay. And since we did that, let's go ahead and talk to our mushroom friend here. It's made its home on the shelf in the cabin. It's built a nest from the loose journal pages, the engineer's scarf, and possibly a pilfered map. Chase your Blemmington from the engine room. Gusts of laughter sound from within. Your crew might be happy, but they're not working. Let's do it. A fan, a fluttering approximation of a sailor's shanty, stops the moment you enter. Engineers glance sheepishly at you, pointedly look away from the cooling fire. The Blemmington perches on someone's shoulder, curled tightly in a small ball. It weighs a tendril meekly when prodded. Okay. Oh. Look at full power. Beware, your engines will occasionally explode. Interesting. Alright, I think we've done everything we can here. There's definitely some interesting stuff here, so I'm very glad we found this. Send out the Z-Bat right away, and we'll head north, since that is our intention. Visage, somewhere to the northwest. Mark that on our map. Okay, good. There's some land over here, though, so let's take a look. Maybe land? Looks like a giant fruit. Terror. Your cruise terror is reaching dangerous levels. Okay. So, yep, that is true. They were Terror 43. Discovered the axe from Afarox Channel. Interesting. And the Reef of Roses. Okay. But nothing to land on there, so we'll continue heading towards this airway. And we'll probably have to stop by London. Send out my Z-Bat. And here's Visage. Looks like there's a lot of things here. So we'll go to Kapalka Cove. As you can see, there's just, like, each area has just got so much character, so much, like, the art and everything like that just really gets you drawn into this area. So this is Visage and the Kapalka Cove. So hide your face. Hide all your faces. This is the port of Visage, where faces may not be naked, except one. Stone monument, the size of a village church, serenely gazes upward, flourishing of years. So we can go ashore and create a port report. So let's do our port report. A departing merchant gives you a confusing account of crocodiles and honey cakes and something about ear blockage. To this, you add your own impressions about a street layout close to the port and the types of commerce here. When the lights are especially bright, it's possible to make out the details of the profile of that great stone face. Missing a mouth. That's kind of creepy. All right, let's go ahead and go on. Once you set foot on Visage, you may be here for a little while. All those who enter must play their parts. The sign is visible only after you cross the threshold. All right. On the lower slopes, stone buildings, flat roofs, and archways. In the architecture, there lingers a memory of lotus and palm frond. The hill above is a face forever looking up at the ceiling of the Untersee. No one inhabits its cheeks or the hollows of its eyes. Check in at the customs house. One may not wander Visage at will, so let's do it. A changing room. All visitors must pass one by one through a room guarded by a person in the mask of a moon moth. Okay. Masks in an assortment of shapes and colors await. So I don't want to go in without a mask. I want to be respectful of their culture for now until I learn what their culture is. Let's see. Let's ask about the significance of masks. So, assorted pestilences. Moonmoth explains. Each mask declares a different intention towards the denizens of Visage and must be accompanied by suitable behavior. The frog is for visitors who, though perhaps clumsy and unfamiliar with local etiquette, have come in order to observe local ways and make uncouth comments about them. The locust is for those who seek profit in Visage and would carry away as many goods as possible. You prompt about the bat. Moonmoth hesitates. Bat is an ill-omened visitor. Send his messenger or spy. Bat always dies. All right, cool. I want to do profit. I need profit. Let's do this. You choose the locust mask. It looks voracious. Hunger for all things. Moon moth settles the locust mask over your head. The eye holes are covered with a thin gold film through which valuable objects gleam more brightly. May you find a happy harvest, Moon moth, says Moon moth. When you have partly turned away, it stumble knots the tie in its purse as though you're likely to pick its pocket. Does it know you can see it? Occurrence. Your visage, your mask quality is now 3, locust mask. Visage, expertise in parts hasn't changed because it's lower than 3. Okay. Alright. So, looks like we got some options here because of our mask. So we need to get an expertise in parts. Visit the library of parts, so called because all the books are fragmentary, perhaps. Stoop at the lintel and enter the dark. A room of heavy stone guarded by a golden statuette of a woman with outstretched arms. The scroll niche is sorted to correspond to a variety of masks. The jackal and the lion, the crocodile and the dung beetle. A woman in the mask of a lotus bloom stands at the lectern, reading in silence. Let's see. Ask about the purpose of this room. Let's do that. Valdender M for masked. Moonmoth explains. People, I think that's supposed to be Lotus, but people think it means something like the library fragments, but this is wrong. The parts in question are like parts in a play. This is where the denizens of Visage come in order to learn how to perform their mask more accurately, more completely with the truer spirit. Okay. We can pick the pockets of readers. Let's do that. Successful, if not wealthy. You dip your fingers into a crocodile's purse and acquire a few coppers from the heron. The coins here are no more than tiny copper chips, each stamped with an eye sigil. The exchange rate must be 1,000 of these to an echo, hardly worth taking home. But you've acted as a locust is meant to act anyways. There are no scrolls for locusts in the library of parts. Let's see. So I now have 1 visage, expertise, and parts, and I gain 10 fragments. Okay. So let's do that. It's a moderate challenge, 61% chance, huh? That might be something to do. Can I go back? Alright. So I can spend secrets. Yep. Okay. So yeah, we did it again. I gained another visage, expertise, and parts. So I now have 2. So the Moonmoth speaks as though you should already know what the Flood Court is, huh? Flood Court's a long stone room with 2 ranks of columns on each side. Currently the court is ankle deep in water. The water stains on the stone show that the flood has often reached higher, sometimes up to the height of your waist. In a raised niche at the far end of the room stands the statue of a man with the head of a ram. He holds a jar from which water flows out on the floor. Alright. Let's see. Ask about the purpose of this room. Let's do that. Depth per day. From the corner, Moonmoth picks up a graduated stick. He shows you how a person standing at the end of the room may dip the stick in the water and use it to measure the water level at a pre-selected point, and how the measurements are compared with measurements written on a calendar. The water level does not match the calendrical position, and assembly of pipes and drains is used to adjust it. It used to be, says the moth, that the water rose and fell on its own accord, and the people before wrote down what height it reached. Now the water is still, but thanks to their actions we can replicate the rise and fall, so to still be is pleasing to the god of flood. It completes the explanation with the half-body bow towards the statue of the ram deity. So, 39% chance to gather coin from the war of the wishing well. 41% chance to study the calendars. But I don't have the ability to do that. Let's see how much you like the pool. Okay. So, I mean, not what we want to do right now, so let's go ahead and head back to Visage. Am I locked here until I do something? I guess I have to try and do something here. Gotcha! You wade in the water and begin gathering coins. People watch you from behind their masks, but no one tries to stop you. After a moment, the other locust masks in the room swarm to you, 4 and 5, 6 of you together, scraping at the coins for the bottom of the pool, working your way until everything is gone. It's just how locusts ought to behave. I did succeed. Excellent. You gained 1 visage, expertise, and parts, now at 3. Aware of visitor rolls, and I now have 10 fragments. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Trade masks with the Moonmoth. It's been making subtle overtures for some time. You only now understand them. So let's do that. It's keen to go. It draws aside in a closet in the customs house. Had enough of Visage, it tells you frankly. Here, you take my mask and pretend to be me, and I'll trade in my visitor mask and get on some departing ship. My life back. Its face, no, now you see, her face, is aging but unlined. A lifetime of never needing to use a facial expression. Alright. So I'm now aware of moth roll. Okay. On the lower slopes, yeah, that's all the same. Visit the house of the chief geometer. It's understood to be an honor. Visit the temple. And visit the side of the face. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and visit the house of chief geometer. Lines in wet ground. Each morning, the man in the cobra mask draws lines in the mud flats with a pointed steel rod. He apportions to each inhabitant a small trapezoidal area from which to harvest mushrooms and to scrape salt. No plot is ever preserved from one day to the next. The man is the chief geometer, the keeper of directions, master of land measures and sea measures. Now you've been invited to his home at the time customarily appointed for him, so to receive those who are not equal in rank, yet not so far beneath him as to deserve to be ignored. What ceremonial gift will you bring? String of rats, necklace of lapis beads, Let's see. A poem concerning snakes, copied on New Scroll. A comb made of bone. Fresh candles. Bring nothing. Let's see. Or do not go. Let's see. Should we bring nothing? Yeah, let's do that. No, you arrive empty-handed, already piled on his table are wrappings of other gifts. They reprove you. You have erred. You have no choice to depart early before someone thinks you have remasked in a more embarrassing part. Darn it. Okay. Can I go back? Yes. Okay. Let's bring a necklace of lapis beads. No more than 5, no more than 6. Yeah, we'll do that. Feeling blue, he gives them to the servant with orders that they be crushed and the powder be made to pigment and the pigment used for painting. It's uncertain whether this is a deadly insult. You aren't thrown out of the house at any rate. Okay. So we got up to 6 now. Let's see. We'll do the 2 honey cakes, huh? Let's do the poem. Mixed results. He appears to be pleased by this, but it takes him aback as well. Several lines he remarks that this sort of merchandise is something he would expect to be brought to the island by a bat. Requires a great deal of chittering and wing folding to persuade him of your moth nature. Alright. Enter the hollow of the ear. It's a place of still greater pageantry. This is the journey of several steps and may include your concurrent visit. Interesting. So this is a really cool little setup for a story. A proud nose. It's a festival day, and the great stone face has been illuminated from forehead to chin with blazing torches so that the profile is visible from the side more clearly than you've ever seen it. Flourishing of years is awake, says the genderless figure in the crocodile mask. All the denizens are walking. This is a place in the procession which belongs by right to the wearer of your mask. So, I don't have a flare, unfortunately. That might have been cool, but we'll fall in line with the others. Among your own, as you go through, you are truly one of them. You carry nothing with you but the mask and the costume. May your heart be light as a feather, says the woman in the lotus blossom mask as you fall into line behind her. Ritual participation quality 2, empty-handed. Inside the hollow of the ear. The road you follow leads up through the switchbacks along the side of the face and finally to the ear of the flourishing of years and into the cave that is her ear. Tunnel bends back on itself and all lights have now been extinguished. There's nothing to guide you but the hand of the person behind you on your back, the movement of the person in front of you. The one who walks beside you wears a bat mask. Fortunately, the floor of the tunnel is very smooth and presents no stumbling blocks. Sound carries strangely in this place, however. Sometimes you cannot hear your own footsteps and sometimes a breath comes back to you audible from someplace ahead in line. We can try to run or continue. Let's continue. There's a secret in the dark. In line, the footsteps of the people are already steady and synchronous, and you go together. For how many years has this been done, and how many will it be done in the future? Watch your step here, says Bat Mask, as you watch to you in an under voice. Its accent is the accent of Wolfstack Docks. Floor is about to get squishier, and sure enough it does. So, empty-handed and brave. At last, the tunnel opens, and you and all the other congregants spread out into Cavendish space. A voice speaks in the darkness, a ritual preparation. Here, at the new year, we gather under one mask of the flourishing of years. Her face is turned to God's. Protected by her mask, we may remove our own. Protected by her script, we may speak outside our parts. Here and there is the sound of people fumbling with ties and strings. Your own face feels different with the mask off. All right. We can giggle. Let's see. Receive the confidence of the stranger as holy. Or wait and listen to see if we can learn something to our advantage here. Huh? Let's wait and listen here. Not much for blackmail. I gained 100 fragments. You move stealthily through the dark, hearing one knot of conversation then another. Secrets exchanged do not offer much leverage. You can see the owners of the secrets. Here and there, you catch the smallest fragment of something that might serve you on a future occasion. Memories of a voyage east, half rumor about the Carnelian coast, a mutter about the Admiralty. Okay. The hours of confidence is drawing to its end. If there's anything else you need to know, now is the time. So we'll just let it end. At the end of the hour, there comes a woman with a feather of shimmering silver, which she tucks into your hand, symbol of the innocent heart that will not be eaten by the jackal. Then a bell rings, and the time of speech is over. You all begin to put your masks back on. It is possible, you cannot know for sure, that in the cover someone has exchanged a mask with someone else. It is an orderly and perfect line that emerges again from the ear of the flourishing years. If anyone watches from above, they must surely be satisfied. All right, Respecter of the Sacred Mystery. I have one captivating treasure. You'll look away eventually. If you made an iron-clad will, you can convert these into heirlooms for your successor. And I gained a secret. Very cool. All right, so we'll end our performance. I lost 10 terror. Awesome. With the other citizens are distracted, you find your way to the familiar customs house and rid yourself of the mask and robe. There is satisfaction in laying inside a role well performed. All right. And with that, we're going to go ahead and call it here. So definitely found a couple of interesting sites. The Pirate Bay coast with the Abbey. And then, of course, Visage here, where it looks like everybody plays a part. And we did our part as well. So very cool. Definitely some interesting stuff to be found out here. Just real quick. Nope, no shops, as I figured. So join me next video, and we're going to go ahead and return to London. We're going to trade in all our Admiralty reports and see about using that to our advantage as well. See what we can do. So with that, I will bid you guys farewell.